Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Book Publishing Academy podcast with Janine Hernandez. Today I have the amazing Kimberly Rose with us. She is an author, a mom, a parole officer, speaker, podcast, like she does it all, right? So let's chat a little bit with her and learn more about her journey. Kimberly, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited. Thank you.
I'm super excited to dive in because Kimberly is one of the authors who we were working on her book and we had a period of time where we kind of just slowed down a bit because she was getting married.
Yes.
And then one day to the next, she just published it. And I'm like, wait, what? I love when my authors do that, when they just surprise me out of nowhere.
Just anonymous drop.
I know. So, Kimberly, tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about what inspired you to publish a book.
Okay, so it's so funny because it's been so long, but the idea came in 2019. So I have a son. My son, he has a learning disability. We came from California. He met his first best friend. They met like around between 1 and 2. And my son, he was nonverbal in the beginning. And just like other little boys, they would play, they would fight, and they would always argue over who was the best superhero. But my son was nonverbal, so I'm like, what are you guys fighting about? What are you guys mad about? Like he barely speaks. But their friendship just always amused me, and I would just sit back and watch them. And then I got this idea, like I'm gonna write a story about them. So it was 2019 when I actually wrote it, and I had a mutual friend who liked to draw. And so she drew me some pictures. I sent it to her. She drew me some pictures and she actually painted them. So she painted them on paper. So I had these copies and time went by. This is 2019 and we're now moving forward to 2020, maybe 2021. Another one of my best friends, she was working with the Book Publishing Academy. And I saw your page from her page, but I didn't think nothing too much of it. But as she started speaking more about her book and going live and talking about it, I was like, okay, this is real. Like this could really happen. And I think I reached out to you by then. She referred me to reach out to you. I reached out to you, and you emailed me. But even still, when I was speaking with you, I was okay. Like it sounds good. I'm still not ready. I'm not doing that. I can't be an author. And I remember I think it was a phone call with you, and you told me, well, what's stopping you today? And honestly, it was doubt. But I was like, I don't know, the money. I don't know. And so I spoke with you a little bit more. You put a little bit more in motivation into me. And then from there, I started connecting with other people. I found a new illustrator. They were able to get me more pictures done for the book, and things were just going. But then I had a lot of doubt, and I think I was really discouraged. I never saw myself as a writer. And just my mindset, it just wasn't there. It sounded good to me, but in my heart, I felt like I couldn't do it, and I felt like it would never be in that book form. So I kind of pushed it off to the back burner. And then COVID happened. And then next, I'm getting engaged. I'm married. Now we are in 2022. I'm planning my wedding. So I put the book again on the back burner. I wasn't even thinking about the book. And I remember you would always reach out to me like every other week, monthly. You'd invite me to the call, to the group chat, but you always stayed on me. You were reaching out to me. And I never knew what I was going to tell you because I really didn't have an excuse. It was more so doubt, but I didn't want to tell you I was doubting myself. But I didn't have an excuse. And finally I was okay, I need to take this serious. I need to get focused. So then I started working on the book some more. I found an editor. I went back to the Book Publishing Academy. I like, okay, what steps do I need to do next? Okay, I need to do this next. I created my website, and then I remember when I uploaded the book on Amazon, I didn't really know what I was doing. I uploaded it, and I guess I put make live immediately, and I didn't realize I did that. So next, I have a friend who she was staying on top of it too. She's kind of like my accountability partner, and she happened to look on Amazon, and the book was available on Amazon, and she purchased it and sent it to me. And I was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" Like, no, don't post that. Don't tell anyone it's ready. And I slept on it, and then the next day I was like, you know what? I just have to go for it. I have to put it out there. So then I just started posting it, and I got some good feedback from there.
Okay, so this is
That was
amazing.
a lot, I know.
No, this is amazing because so you almost didn't even get started because you didn't think that it was possible for you. And
Yes,
even when you did get started, you still felt that way. Like even though you had the Book Publishing Academy and all the steps there, literally, you still
literally.
felt like this is impossible for me.
And
And
keep in mind, Janine, you connected me with so many people through the Book Publishing Academy. Even though I don't know, I skipped over this part. I wrote the book in 2019, but it really wasn't finished. So when you connected me with the illustrator, And I started looking through it. I think I only had like 6 pages. And I was like, okay, this is not enough for a children's book. So I started writing more. The illustrator helped me. We got some more work done. So by 2023, the book was literally done. I sent it to the book was done. We got it formatted and everything, but I still didn't have it in me. I still didn't see myself as a writer. And I remember I had a phone call with you, and we were talking on the phone, and we were talking a little bit about doubt. But one thing that you said to me, you were like, "Well, what's stopping you? Like, this is your story. No one can change your story. It's your story." And that always stuck with me. So in my mind, I'm like, it is my story. They can't tell me that the story is wrong, or I wrote it wrong, or this is not how it ends. And like honestly, that stays with me. And so I've written since this day, since I published the book, actually, I've written 2 more books, 2 more children books. And in my head, I'm like, this is my story. I can tell my story how I want to tell it. So like that just pumps some motivation in me as well.
So, and well, because I think it's true. Like, our story is our story. Nobody can change it. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
No
why
one.
I don't believe in traditional publishing, because a traditional publisher will come in and they will change your story and they will
Mm-hmm.
fix it and they will do all these things. And I always tell people no. Like, I will make recommendations, like, hey, I recommend this or that. But at the end of the day, is your story, and nobody, even a bad review, they can't really say anything. Like, it's your book. I was
Right.
that made it. Um, so, and I love that you pushed yourself and you were like, screw this, I'm just going to post it right. Like, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
going to post about it right now. Because what happens is, even then, there's a lot of people that will publish the book, they'll have it on Amazon, and then they don't do anything with it. They still will sit in that doubt of like, am I even a writer? Am I really author?
Right.
So, walk us through what happened once you posted it and you said it's available. Because that thing blew up. Your social media blew
It did. And it's so funny because being in the book publishing academy, I'm connected to all these other authors, people who I haven't even met face to face, but they write me and they give me good feedback, and they encourage me. So I see how all the other authors are doing things and how they are posting things and how they're advertising themselves and their business. And so I was taking little mental notes and things like that. So once I realized the book was ready and it was coming out, I'm like, okay, I gotta be ready. I need to post this. I went online, Canva, and I started creating little flyers, putting pictures of myself and things, and just writing little bits and pieces about the book, sharing little pages. And the next day I posted it, and like I was surprised. Everyone was reposting it. And like me, I don't know if anyone else does this, but I'm checking on Amazon looking at the sales. So like every hour I'm looking at the sales, and the sales are going up. So I'm like amazed that I'm getting like this much support in just not even like 24 hours. So and then honestly, I think once I saw the sales and I saw people who I honestly don't even know are purchasing the book and they were reposting it on their page, that pumped a little bit more fire in me. So then I started creating more flyers and I'm posting it on different websites. I even joined Facebook book groups, and I'm
up.
posting my book in Facebook book groups. And from there, it just took off.
I love that for you. It's so exciting.
Thank
So,
you. I appreciate it.
what would you say to you, the version of you that was doubting yourself?
I would say that it's possible as long as I'm willing to do the work and willing to put in the time, and just it's possible. I don't need to doubt myself. I know that I can do it. And like I said, from that day, it was it's sad to say, but it's almost like we all need a little bit of validation. And just from that moment and seeing the book blow up how it did, it gave me a lot more validation. And I wrote 2 more books, and I'm just waiting. Like I want to put it out now. I'm like, no, I need to give this book a little bit more time, but I'm like anxious to put out the next children's book.
I love it. I have another author. Her name is Kimberly. She just keeps popping out children's, like, just like, I'm like, are you
Really?
on your 50th book by now? It gets addicting, doesn't
Yes.
it?
In my head, I'm like, is there a time frame? Should I wait a little bit longer? But
I would let it simmer just a little so that
mhm.
you can still, and then drop the next one. I would say early next year.
Right. And what's crazy is also through the book publishing account, like I said, we meet people. I had the pleasure of meeting a young lady who also in the book publishing academy. She connected me with her supervisor out of the Mesa Art Center. And we had a sit down meeting. We actually have another meeting coming up in 2 weeks. And she was able to get the book into the Mesa library, which I'm very excited for. And they're actually working on putting together a little play for kids. And they did some literature behind the book. So we're working on that, and we're working on a little self-help book for kids to write their own storybook that we're going to do all in one day at the event.
I love this. Look at
So
you
just the
go.
connections that I've made through the book publishing academy has also put another level of fire in me, because now people who I would have never interacted with before or even thought to try to get my book into a local library in our community, that has just it's amazing to me.
Oh my God. And you're working with kids and you're sharing
Hmm.
that story and you're helping them as well. Like, this is amazing.
Exactly.
And all of this wouldn't have been possible if you wouldn't have just clicked yes on Amazon and just overcame that little
Seriously.
fear.
Yes. And I mean, even I was so nervous, like just thinking back to that night. I honestly couldn't sleep, and I never really feel like that. I had so much anxiety, but at the same time, I was excited. I was excited for the morning to hit, and I remember too. It was like around 6:30 in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna wait till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. People are up and out. I'm gonna post a book, but I just couldn't. 6:30, I was like, I'm posting it, and I posted it, and from there, it just took off.
I love it because people were shocked. They didn't really know. You had
I
posted
didn't tell
once, like, hey,
anyone.
I have a book coming,
Mhm.
but that was about it. You
And
didn't.
that was another thing. I When I look at all the other authors, like I said, I take notes from them. And even I would see them like, get on live on their pages and talk about things, or even do short little videos within their home and then post it. And I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm shy, but to a point I'm shy, even doing a Zoom. Like, this is my first ever Zoom podcast, anything. So it was hard for me just to even do that, to even talk about the book as much on my page. And then at the same time, I was doubting myself, and I didn't really want to speak about it because in my mind, I didn't really see it ever coming into book form. I didn't really ever see it happening. So I was like, I don't want to put things out there, which I'm unsure if it's even going to happen. And then it happened.
But now, would you say that you're in a better place to like accepting invitations for podcasts and speaking events and things like that?
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited now. Like, even like I said, with the whole thing with the Mesa Art Center, I'm excited for that. I get to sit down and read my children's book to children and just interact with them and get feedback from the kids and see how they like it.
I love it. Love, love, love. So aside from being an author now, you are also a parole officer. Tell us a little bit
Yes.
about that. Tell us about your profession. What do you do?
So I am a parole officer. I've been doing this going on 2 years, but I've been working for the department over 9 years. As a parole officer, it's very rewarding. So I get to work with individuals who are getting released from prison, and they're through the courts. They have to do a certain amount of supervision. So I just supervise them, make sure that they're transitioning back into the community, and just helping them connect with those resources and the wraparound services that they need. It's access, mental health services, anything like that that they need, just to make sure that they are successful in our community. I think a lot of people, we forget that these individuals, they might go to prison, but eventually they're going to get out and they're going to be in our communities. So whether we like it or not, we need to help them be successful so that they're not transitioning, going right back to prison and getting out and doing the same thing. Um, so as a parole officer, day to day, I just checking on individuals, on popping up on them at their house, their jobs, and just helping them, just giving them resources and navigating with them.
I love that. That does sound rewarding to be
Mm-hmm.
able to help.
It is rewarding when you get those ones that truly want to change their lives. And unfortunately, for most, sometimes those ones are the ones who get out with no family support. They don't have anyone out here. They're getting out. They're going to a halfway house, and they don't even know what tomorrow's going to look like. They don't know where they're going to get their next meal from. Those are the ones, like, you just got to motivate them. You got to just speak life into them, positive affirmations day in and day out, and just give them as much attention as you can without taking away from someone else. But those are the ones that once I see that they're on their feet and they're successful, those are the ones that are truly rewarding for me. Like, we actually like went through this together. And I have a few from when I was working in the prison that get out into the community. Haven't seen them in years, and now they're on my caseload in parole. And so it's like a full circle moment for me, because I saw them when they're in the prison, probably at their lowest. So now I see them thriving in the community.
I love, maybe there's a potential for a book there teaching kids about the correction office, space a little bit. So you never know.
You never know. What's so funny is I actually got invited to go to a local group home in our community. I'm gonna go there and speak to the children about things like that. So I'm excited.
See, look at that. All the opportunities that open up for you.
Literally, and that's just from the book being out.
Yes. And then you also have a your own business. Tell us about that.
Yes, so I just started my own business, Stellar Events. I'm trying to tap into decorating and planning events. Hopefully, one day helping someone plan their wedding and decorating for their wedding. I just started that within the past 4 or 5 months. So far, it's been good. I'm learning a lot. I'm dealing with different people and just their ideas and helping them bring them to life, which is my favorite. I love a theme. So that's something recently that I just started, from picnics to parties to backdrops, photo booths, anything you could think of. That's more of my lane.
I love that. That's such a creative like outlet. Like some people
Hmm.
like to paint, some people like to decorate,
Right. And I love to decorate, and I've always wanted to. I've always said since I was younger, like, one thing that I always want is my own event hall. So I feel like this is just like the step going that way.
Yeah, and
So
it's
it's like,
totally possible now that everything's out of, the pandemic, you can
hmm,
totally rent a hall and get it done yourself.
yes,
So, those are very popular actually. So, and very lucrative. Like you can make some good money.
right, of course.
So what is next for you? Now the book is published. I know you're working on two other ones. You're speaking now at events. You're going to read to the children. What is next for you? What do you see for yourself as an author?
So before, I would have never considered myself an author or thought I can be an author. Now I consider myself an author. I'm enjoying writing now. It's so funny because I'll get off of work, I'll come home, I'll do a little bit of work, but in my mind I'm like, okay, I got this idea in my head. I want to write it, get it down on paper. So I've been finding myself writing a lot more. Next, I want to continue to push out children's books. I want to do a series. That's my biggest thing. I want to do a series. Um, so I see more books in the future.
I love that. I love it. You're going to open up so many different opportunities for yourself if you just continue in this path. And
Hmm.
I just love to see stories of our authors that start off with a mindset of like, I don't know that I can do this. And then they go through it. And then boom, like all these new things, like new doors start to open up. You start to meet new people. Um,
Right.
and really, once you get past just that little tiny fear, that's all you need is you need to get over that little hump, and then
That's
it's like
it.
go time.
That honestly, that's it. I remember when I got my book back, after it was formatted, I remember I was like, oh, I can't look at it. I don't want to look at it. And so I didn't really pay too like I looked at it, I went through, but to me it was just still surreal. And then once I got the book in book form, I was reading through it. I'm like, wow, I really did this. And I got so much positive feedback on everything, the illustrations, the book, what the storyline and what it's about. I think that was the biggest thing. And I know that I want to tap into more so writing books targeted to children and friendships and just positive things for kids that they can honestly relate to. Um, Even my next book that I was working on, my daughter, she came home with like a little sad story about a girl at school not wanting to play with her. And so that just gave me an idea for my next book. So things that children like honestly go through and can relate to while they're in school and things like that.
It's like a children reality TV show, but what happens in their life, but it's in book form.
Yeah, literally.
You stole my toy, and then you write a book.
Right. I'm gonna write a book.
I love it. Where can our viewers and listeners follow you or connect with you if they're interested in purchasing your book?
So my book is available on Amazon. It's titled Super Together. I have a website. It's called readwithkim.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Lovely X Roses.
Lovely X Roses. Love it. Are you on TikTok at all?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
Next.
I am not
Okay.
anymore. I couldn't keep up with it.
Awesome. So Read with Kim, and it is on Amazon. I just
Yes.
want to thank you so much for coming onto the podcast, sharing your story, and overcoming your fear of becoming an author because you did it and you're doing it and you're going to continue to do it. I could just
Yes.
already see you doing it at a high level because you're so
Oh,
excited
I appreciate
about
it.
what can happen.
Mhm.
And I just want to thank you so much for inspiring everyone today. Thank you.
Of course. And I have to thank you too because I could only imagine how hard it is for you. Like I said earlier, we started this process, I would say in 2020, we started this process when I connected with you from the beginning. And even you were like, you were holding me accountable. We were talking weekly, we were talking monthly, and there would be times where I wouldn't even want to answer your phone call because I didn't have an excuse. I didn't know what to say to you, and I felt like I was letting you down. But in reality, I was letting myself down, and you were just there to motivate me and push me. And you provided me all the resources. And here I am. I have everything in front of me. I know what I need to do. What's next? But I just couldn't do it. So I want to thank you for your patience and just your guidance and for connecting me to all these wonderful people who I've met who have helped me transition into stepping into being an author. So I truly appreciate you and the Book Publishing Academy.
Oh, thank you so much. And I appreciate it. I definitely am an accountability partner, but
Yes.
I'm that annoying coach. Like, hey, did you write your book yet? What are you doing?
Right.
I do it to all of you guys. Like, hello, what are we doing?
Right. Uh-huh.
But sometimes we do have to be like how you said, how I asked you, what is holding you back today? I sometimes have to be stern like that to like
Yes.
get you guys to like wake up a little bit, like, hello.
Right.
You know why? Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? So as long as we get
Exactly.
our story out there and we're building a legacy for our kids, that's all that matters. So
Hmm.
proud of you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So thank you so much for joining us. As with anything, if you guys are listening or watching, make sure to subscribe, share with your friends and family, leave us a review, and we will see you on the next episode. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.